Thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to talk about this activity. My name is Brian. My partners are Reina Duran, Saray David, Gloria Rojas, Jose Quintero, and Nicolas. So just to start, I would like to talk to you about the speech and language. So we often hear the words speech and language as having the same meaning, but in communication could be the same thing. But I was looking a couple of information that says that in medical community they have a couple of difference. So, for example, speech refers to the actual sound of spoken using the muscles of tongue, lips, cheeks, and vocal tract in a very precise and coordinated way that produce recognizable sounds that make up language. Now, language is or refers to the whole system of words and symbols, written or spoken, that express or something like expressed with body language, gestures, and wants to communicate an idea or meaning. So, thank you so much. My partner is going to continue.
About the characteristic of language, the language it's a universal that it's a capacity of the human being. It's externalized with the use of the science, so through language and speech. It's rational because it requires the use of the reason to associate with the language science. And it can be expressed verbally or non-verbally. The verbal language is the form of communication with other people and that use focus on the use of the words. And the non-verbal, it's based on body language. For example, gesture, facial expressions, and certain postures.
Hello everyone. Today I want to speak to dysphagia, causes, developments, and treatments. Well, in general aspects, the people suffering dysphagia frequently repeat words or settings when expressing themselves. The CAA, International Classification of Mental and Behavior Oral Disorder, defines to dysphagia as the speech impediment characterized by a frequently or prolonged sounds, vowels, words, uh, or by the rise of frequently double or pauses which interrupt the speech rhythmic flow. Some authors and specialists consider that dysphagia and the stutter are the same, while other specialists don't agree with that. Because if you see the dysphagia in general aspect and stutter, they are the same, but have a little difference in your impediment when the people speak in the group, speak in the audience, or speak um, how to, for example, in a group or presentation, depend. And this part, my classmate Reina explicated more specific the causes and the treatments.
Continue with my classmate says there are four causes of dysphagia. The first one is genetic. In monozygotic twins, which originate from an oldie ovule and sperm, if one of the siblings suffering dysphagia, the other one has a 77% probability of developing. In dizygotic twins, individual stated from two ovules and sperms, the probability is 32%. From parents to children, the probability are between 30 and 40. The second one cause is the sex because it's more frequently dysphagia in men in a 75% that is in women in a 25%. The third one is psycholinguistic. Articulation problems derived from a lack uh, in linguospecular thought relationship between meaning and written words. In opposition to sensoactorial processing, the relationship between meaning and image. And the last one cause is traumatic. Dysphonia may also be caused by extended stress periods. In Colombia, the percent it's estimated that according to the World Health Organization, around 70 million people have speech difficulties, equivalent to 1% of the population. Many famous people suffer in dysphonia too, such as James Rodriguez, Nicole Kidman, Bruce Willis, Mark Anthony, and Emily Blunt. Thank you.
So we continue with the treatment and some tips about the treatment. G. Sangarin Garcia established that the treatment on prevention of dysphonia shall apply speech therapy techniques combined with psychotherapy among them. Teaching of speech mechanics, observation of speech behaviors, correction of stutter, muscular relaxation and voice control, last but not least, fluency. In a previous post, we talked about the Oscar Award movie The King's Speech, when tells the case of Lionel Long, an Australian speech therapist who helped the British kings to be George VI to overcome his stutter problems. Those some tips for the treatment and prevention. Thank you for your attention.
The conclusion about the dysphonia was that it's something genetic, which if it's not treated from an early age, can have a repercussion in the future for each person that's who suffered from it. So it's a much more common disease in men than women. So in addition to its difficulty, speaking can bring psychological effects such as depression due to the teasing or for the bullying that other people do.